What up, Bucs fans? It is Monday. We are back. It's Real Bucs Talk. I'm Michael Plus, joined as always with Mark Ramirez, and we have a special guest, Ruth The Truth. So we're happy to have her on. But let's just go around the table. Mark, I'll start with you. How's everything going?
Doing good, doing good. Just a normal, casual Monday. I guess rain's on and off, but football's full go right now. So I'm excited to talk some football, get to know Ruth a little bit. What's going on? So Ruth, how you doing?
I'm doing well. This morning I woke up feeling a little not myself this morning. I had finals this past week, so my final semester in college. Thank God. I made it to the finish line, but this morning I woke up feeling like if I would have turned my head to the side, my brain would have just fell out of my head. But I'm recovering, so I'm doing well. I'm catching drinks with friends later tonight, and it'll be my first adult beverage in quite some time. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Awesome.
Yeah, very awesome. So, guys, if you're joining us here in the chat, again, this is Real Bucs Talk, brought to you by Bucs Report. So we're thankful for the great Bucs Report for having us on their stream and everyone joining us right now. So just let's get into it. I mean, obviously football's back. Training camp around the league is full go. So this is where, NFL fans are getting all excited. There's a lot of hope around, every franchise, and it's just a great time in the sports world. A lot going on. So, Mark, I mean, Tom Brady, I mean, being 44 tomorrow is pretty awesome. But we were actually at training camp yesterday, and just a lot of good things to see from the team. There were some little sluggish parts at times, but I think for the most part, it's very competitive on both sides. I think that's what we can definitely see.
Yeah, old man's getting a day off too. I like that. But I guess let's go to the big story of Tom Brady, which is breaking news. What is this?
Oh.
Tom Brady. Breaking news, guys. Temper tantrum at Bucs practice. Cussing and helmet throwing. What an a-hole. So Tampa Tommy. What happened? I guess this is the biggest news for breaking when it's Tom Brady. Tom grabbed the ball and booted it in frustration, sending the pigskin over 40 yards. That's a good accomplishment, in my opinion. If we need a second punter, that's my boy right there, Tampa Tommy. And also, he threw an F-bomb. Again, a-hole. Got to make an effing play when you're tired, fellas, Brady said, according to Rick Stroud. So this is the breaking news for Tom Brady. Not only is he the GOAT, getting 7 championships, he's also throwing F-bombs and punting the ball. So what's your 2 cents on that, Ruth?
I mean, I like it. I like the frustration. I mean, Tom Brady has always been that theatrical player on the sidelines when things aren't going his way. This isn't a surprise for us. I mean, I'm glad that he's holding his other teammates accountable. And yeah, it's training camp. We might be in our first week, but we got to get the work done. We came here to do a job. And I'm pretty sure when things don't go right, they have to get right back on that line. So dealing with that heat outside, he's just like, guys, get it together so we can get out of here. So I'm happy about it. I'm all for it. I like Brady getting mad. It gets a little hot in here every time. So I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, we were there when he punted the football, and it was pretty fun to see that. We were
Was that it was a 40-yard punt?
Yeah, well, he took the ball and he punted it to the opposite field. Like they're on the field closest to us, and then he punted it to the next field over, which was pretty funny. And yeah, we were just laughing at the time. We didn't really focus on what his other teammates did, but I'm sure that got their attention. So
how was it out there during training camp? Hopefully my credentials will be approved this week and I'll be able to enjoy some training camp starting next week. So I'm excited for that. But how was your take? How was the weather? How was the heat? Like, how were the players responding to the humidity? Because I mean, that can't be an easy thing to do.
Hot as hell. That's hot as hell. And I guess Hainsey, I should have gotten a picture of this. I put it on Twitter a couple times. He had to take his pants completely off. Literally, he took his.
I heard about that.
Completely off. He's just in nothing, and he gets the towel, wads it up, puts some powder on it. He's doing it proper, and even Tom Brady came over and pointed at it. He's like, "No, I got to fold it this way, my man. Getting too much sweat on it." It was hilarious to see that.
Yeah.
I was like, "Is this shit really going on?" Like, really happening.
Yeah. It was pretty.
Hotel.
It was pretty funny because Hainsey after that went to Tom and they were like practicing their snaps and Tom like was showing him the sweat on the football. He's like, this is just too much. And it was just great seeing the detail that, Tom Brady is. I mean, that's
and
why.
It's crazy to think about. 44 years old tomorrow, and my niece turns 2 on Wednesday, so she almost had Brady's birthday. She was so close, but I mean that's crazy to think about. 44 years old, like, and I know that Kyle Trask hasn't been having the most fabulous training camp. I don't know why everybody had such high expectations for him going in, but I mean this guy better be with a clipboard and taking notes and taking. I mean, you got to absorb everything that's in front of you. You have the best NFL example at the quarterback position, and I hope he takes advantage of it. But 44 years old, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, speaking of Kyle Trask, I mean, he was definitely, taking notes and doing his observations. So he doesn't get many reps right now. They have him as the fourth QB, and when he does get in there, he was making some progress. There was some times where it's like, oh, waiting too long. It's just because he's thinking way too much. We kind of see that with like all the rookies, like Joe Tryon, is kind of thinking at times. But obviously Bruce Arians is very happy with him. He seems like he's picking it up and getting better.
Yeah.
But
because
yeah,
when you see a player with the right athletic ability, you could teach them with time. With snaps, they're gonna learn. But if they have the athletic ability to get the work done, I mean, that's got to be exciting for Bruce Arians. So stacked, the Bucs, man, so stacked. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, definitely.
Three edge rushers are getting there now. It's not just Shaq and JBP, and you're worried if one goes down. If Joe Tryon can turn into something, this is disgusting. I mean, the Chiefs were worried already when they're trying to rewire their whole offensive line because of what JPP and Shaq did. We just added to that line, which is even more insane. So good luck, fellow offensive lines. Holy crap.
Right. Yeah.
They have their work cut out for them.
But one more thing on Trask. I mean, the mind is running a little slow right now, or just going too fast because he's just getting used to the speed. Yeah, we did see a lot of times where he would just hold on to the ball way too long. It looked like he would have gotten sacked, but he just kept playing the ball. But yeah, he's going to be sitting the bench for a while. Let's hope. I mean, George Blanda was the oldest one, 48, right? Hopefully Tom Brady sees that as another record he wants to beat. I'll take that 4 more years. Why the hell not, right?
Oh, my gosh. I can't imagine. I said 3. I said 3 at max at the end of counting this season. I said 2 more after this season. I can't see it.
Yeah,
but I mean, why not? 25 years plus. I mean, what an accomplishment!
Right.
No one's ever gonna touch you. You're gonna be on an island of the goats all by yourself.
Maybe he wants every Bucs record too. You never know.
Yeah. So Ruth, I mean, I know we talked a little bit in the beginning, like, what you got going on, but just elaborate a little bit more, like just everything you're working on. I know you got, a lot of great stuff coming up, with Bucs Report and also, your own endeavors that you're working on.
Yes. Let me tell you, it's been a hell of a journey. I'm really excited for this football season because things are going to implode. I'm starting with Bucs Report just recently. You guys brought me on board about a month ago. I just got back from Staples because I'm getting my advertisement stuff together because I have my first advertising sale for Bucs Report on Wednesday. So really excited about that. Trying to put money in our pockets, fellas. Awesome. But other than Bucs Report, I'm still working with Sports Talk Florida. They gave me an internship back in 2018. And now we're looking into going into radio, and I might be having my own radio show coming up soon. I'm really excited. And then obviously Beauty and the Cleats should be debuting by the end of this month. And the Tom Gronkowski Show, you can catch me on Fans Only Sports Network every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. So I'm all over the place. I'll be hopping on Sports Arena right after this as well.
Awesome. Yeah. Guys, everyone in the chat, be sure to follow Ruth. She's a great follow. She not only talks about football, it's like, every sport pretty much. NBA, I know you're big into.
Yes. The free agent movement today has just been like all over the place. My phone has been constantly going off. I have the app. It's called The Score. And anything that happens sports related, I get alerts. So constantly, my phone all day long. So it's been pretty crazy. So I'm excited to talk about that on Sports Arena at 10 p.m.
Very nice. Yeah, I mean, just ridiculous contracts. Me and Mark were Magic fans, so we were like, kind of excited with the draft. Obviously Jalen
Jalen Suggs,
Suggs is very
yeah.
nice, so we weren't expecting that. So
Yeah.
that was a nice surprise. But back to football, and obviously, being a Bucs fan, and also you're a Cowboys fan as well. I know
Yes.
you're excited for that Week 1 matchup. I mean,
Am I?
Are
Am
you?
I?
I mean, is
I'm
it?
a little nervous. I'm a little nervous. Not. I mean, it's a great Week 1 matchup. I mean, the NFL did an excellent job putting that together. They're like, boom, let's everybody have a great Week 1 for NFL. So I'm really excited about that. I mean, I'm a little nervous about the kind of defense that Dak is going to be coming back into for his Week 1 after not playing football for 9 months. So I'm a little worried with that, but I'm excited. It's going to be a great matchup. We have a fire offense for the Dallas Cowboys going up against the #1 defense in the NFL. So it's going to be a great, great game. So I believe it's a Sunday night game for Week 1, correct?
Thursday night.
Thursday night.
Yeah, it's the first game of the season, so all eyes on both teams. It's going to be
very excited about that.
Pretty something. Me and Mark are excited. We're going to be at the game, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Are you guys we going as media? Or are you guys going just as fans? How did you
we're
those
fans. Yeah, we're going as season ticket holders. Maybe one day we'll go as media. We haven't worked that out yet, but right now we're just passionate fans. We want to just scream and holler, so that's what we're gonna do.
It's better that way because when you're in the press box, you have to be quiet. You can't you can't wear the jersey you want. You can't celebrate anything. You just have to be a mouse the whole time.
Yeah,
it was something it took a while for me to get used to.
Yeah, Mark definitely can't be quiet. Mark, you know how that is. I mean, me and him been going to Bucs games for a while, and he's the loudest guy I know, and definitely that's probably why I haven't got media passes yet, because I know he won't keep his mouth shut. So we'll probably get kicked out if we go in there. So
since this is my first time, meeting Mark, how did you become a Bucs fan?
How? By birth, I guess it was birth. I just remember always watching Bucs games, and my dad rooting for them. Mike Allstott was my favorite player growing up. Just stuff like that, like always trying to run through someone. Just it was the normal kid growing up watching football kind of thing, and the Bucs always stuck even through all the losses and everything. They were just there. There was something you could always fall back on. Always going on in Madden, picking us, literally making every 99 overall player on our team, like 25 seasons deep. Yeah, it was fun.
I actually met A-Train a few months back. I think it was the week before the Super Bowl. A pretty awesome guy, super passionate about the team. Like talk about locker room talk from back in the day. Like it was really awesome to have a moment to sit with him. He's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, for sure. I met him as well. Very, very nice dude. And as far as Bucs fans, I'm the same. Me and Mark were born in Tampa, so kind of just birth, like we became Bucs fans. I started going to the games at 8 years old, and just fell in love with the team. And then I think that same year I moved next door to where Mark lived, and that's how we just connected. And I've been going to games ever since, pretty much, and been through the ups and downs of a Buccaneers. Being
so
a Bucs
this is
fan.
this is like a brotherhood turned podcast.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like
In the past, we tried to do the writing part. That didn't work out, and we're like, you know what, Mark, you got a big mouth, and I can, I can talk analytics. So, let's make it a YouTube channel. And now it's just, it's really become something special, and we're very excited about it. But yeah, I mean, just back to the team. That's our like little background story.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, that this team is stacked. It's a lot of competition. I guess we could go into some of the positions that we saw. I mean, obviously, Leonard Fournette, I think, is RB1 right now, which is pretty interesting. But it's kind of like a rotation. I mean, they have Rojo coming in there, and then obviously Gio Bernard has a big role, and Keyshawn Vaughn looks good when he does get the football. So
I kind of feel like Giovanni is more of like that pass catcher type of running back. I think that's something that he's used to with what he's accomplished with the Cincinnati Bengals. So I'm really excited. I was glad to see him added to the roster. I mean, it's always great to have depth. I mean, we had Rojo go down last season. didn't he get COVID like towards the end?
Yes,
It was
yes,
very
he did.
wishy-washy with what he was going to be able to do as the backup for Leonard Fournette. But and then were you guys happy about the Bucs re-signing Leonard Fournette? Because I did a show with Martin Gramatica called the Martin Gramatica Show on Z Living, and he used to just kind of hate on Leonard Fournette, like, oh, he's not, long term for the Bucs. And so when he signed him for another year deal, how did you guys react to that?
I mean,
Mark,
I didn't think we would sign him back just based on money he would want. And
Right.
we remember Lenny during the season, not just Lenny during the playoffs, which everyone thinks that's who he was. I mean, I loved it. It was almost coming out of left field kind of thing, because from the season he looked terrible, like straight terrible. And then he just shows up when the lights come on. Don't get me wrong, I loved it. But I mean, during the season he was awful. I mean, Rojo literally was the best running back on the roster, and you'd see it every Sunday. So
yeah,
I mean,
wasn't it I think it was in Carolina when he ran that 92-yarder or something like that, 98-yarder? It's pretty impressive, yeah.
but,
I'm kind of the same. I if they brought Leonard back, that's great. If not, I understand why. But they have a great room. It's a really a good room. I think they all complement each other. Obviously, the pass protection has to get better overall from every one of them. And that's probably another reason they brought Gio in, because Gio is a great pass protector. And we saw a lot of times last year where, protection would break down, and, that got Tom in trouble. And usually that was the cause of some of our bad plays, especially in the playoffs, because running backs didn't pick up their assignment. So
speaking of protection, though, who did the best when we went over there on Sunday?
yeah, it was Leonard Fournette. Leonard was, stonewalling guys every time. I felt bad for Ryan Jensen, that drill, because in that drill they had the centers and then they had the running backs, and it was basically 2-on-2. But the defense kind of had an edge because they could bring anybody they wanted. So they lined up like 4 guys, and they could, mix and match where they were coming from. So, obviously Devin White against Robert Hainsey, that's a mismatch. And Devin White just like blew by him, and I felt bad. I was like, this poor dude. I mean, he just got.
I know Winfield put him on his ass, right?
Yeah. Winfield put somebody on his butt, and then Rojo got, planted. Yeah, he got planted too. So, but yeah, Leonard was looking very strong in pass pro.
Yeah. So I guess let's actually go over to some of the notes of today. So that was the running back room, guys. Some people were mentioning about Bernard in there too. Yeah, and I agree with you, Ruth, about pass catching. That's going to be third down back option.
Yeah.
Let's go over to some of the notes of today, just to kind of go over that brief overview. Let's check it out. So during install period, it looked as though rookie inside linebacker KJ Britt was directing his teammates on where to go and how to line up. It was an encouraging sign that the young player is grasping the playbook already. So what do y'all think about KJ Britt grasping the playbook and actually telling people where to go? First year player.
I mean, I love the leadership coming from the young guy. I always think that's something great coming out of a young player, for them to actually have a voice and, make their voice known in the locker room. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, KJ, I that's what he did at Auburn. So I think it just comes natural to him, and that, that's already a good start. So, I mean, he's definitely fighting for a position on the team. Obviously starts with special teams, but getting those reps on defense and becoming, that leader for the younger guys that he's working with, very important. Him and Grant Stewart, working together. So yeah, that's a great start.
I mean, I would compare him to like a Kendall Beckwith back in the day, not even that many years ago. Like right. A thumper inside the box, and it's just getting used to dropping back in coverage. He's gonna have to get used to. But we said the same thing with Kendall Beckwith, and like literally that first year he blew up, and it's like, how the hell? So I guess Jason Light just knows how to draft linebackers. Put it that way. Let's keep going down the line. In the first 11-on-11 period, safety Jordan Whitehead let everyone know he was all the way back as quarterback Tom Brady fired straight down the middle for rookie wide receiver Jaden Darden. Was working a post route. Whitehead got there first and decided to make the catch instead. Giving the Bucs defense their first takeaway of the day, it would not be their last. So Jordan Whitehead getting his hands on a ball and actually catching it. Woo, he's only had one career interception his whole entire career. So
only one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Has many opportunities for others, but He's that GIF where the ball just goes through the kid's hands. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what he is.
So close.
Right.
What do y'all think about that? Jordan Whitehead actually, let's see if this can kind of happen during the season, right?
Right.
Well, I mean, the thumper's back, fully healed. I like that. I mean, no, people need to give him a little bit more credit than he gets. Yeah, and I know the interceptions that will come with time, but him inside the box, he's like an additional linebacker. I love it. Just keep getting your hands on the ball, please.
Yeah, just keep bringing that pressure.
Well, another thing, they're talking about Jaden Darden kind of running a post route. A lot of people were talking about how is he looking, what's going on with him. So I guess, plus give me a rundown how Darden looked on Sunday.
Darden is he's very quick. I mean, that's obviously first things first. Very, quick off the line, good as advertised as far as getting separation. I think it just comes down to him just being more consistent. Obviously catching the football, I think is getting there. It's becoming better. Obviously I think he was just nervous the first couple of days, but it seems like he's getting more comfortable, and that's the biggest thing. But obviously he knows how to get open. It's just that consistent level of, just doing it every time. I think that's what he's working up towards, and obviously getting used to this weather and heat. It's affecting everybody. So
just that humidity in Florida, like people were actually, that's not a joke. Like, yeah, it might only say it's 98 degrees outside, but it feels like it's 106 just because of the humidity in the air. So I mean, I give all the credit to these guys that go out there every morning and, put in the work. And I cannot remember his name is slipping me right now, but I feel bad. But today they celebrated the 20th anniversary of one of the NFL players who passed away during it early in a training camp at 27 years old. He passed away from a heat stroke. If I'm not mistaken, it was Minnesota that he played for.
Corey Stringer.
I just can't remember his name right now, but they were celebrating his 20th anniversary. So they got to take their health serious. I know these rookies definitely want to, get the coach's attention. They're fighting for a spot on the roster. I totally get that, but always got to be careful with your health because that Florida heat, that humidity is not a joke.
Damn, I remember this too. Corey Stringer. That was 20.
Yeah, Stringer. There we go. Thank you. That name was killing me. I was like,
am I that damn old? Jeez.
Yeah, 20 years ago. Can you believe that? Was it Minnesota?
Yeah.
20
years ago, Corey Stringer. Wow.
Yeah. He was offensive lineman, correct?
I think he was guard.
Yes.
Yeah.
6'7", 325 pounds, like big guy.
Big boy.
Yeah.
Big boy.
Before I butcher this, let me put this over here. I was wrong. Jordan Whitehead has 3. He had 1 on that.
Oh, okay.
I stand corrected. I will admit it. I am wrong on that one. 3 total.
Does it say which games?
Oh no, I'd have to go
specify
stuff. But I mean, I just stand corrected. Jordan, you better than that. I'm better than that, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. He did get 2. Yeah, he got 2 last year. Yeah, 1 against Carolina and then 1 against the Rams. Yep.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
But he could have had a lot more. He dropped them.
Yeah.
Oh, the Rams. That's one of the matchups. Like within the first 4 weeks, it's Dallas. Is it Atlanta and then?
Yeah, Atlanta,
and then the Patriots.
Yeah.
The first 4 weeks, I'm excited.
I'll take it.
Yeah, a lot of good premium matchups and primetime TV. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
You get Stafford early.
I'll
take it. I'll take that late. And we know how to beat them, right? They're gonna run these quick passes. Oops. Let's see. All right, let's keep going down the line. We got center Ryan Jensen was on a rest day, and so it was rookie now center Robert Hainsey that was tasked with snapping the ball to Brady for Monday's practice. Just a little tidbit on that. I guess we touched on his little towel man pawn, I guess we'll call it. But keep going.
Streaking on the field.
Right? Hey, he's getting it done for Brady, right? 44, you get what you want. And in the next series for Brady, he placed a great ball right in front of wide receiver Antonio Brown, who caught it over the middle and insisted on running the rest of the way down the field. Safety Herb Miller decided he would run with him for good measure. Guess Antonio Brown, AB, running all the way to the end zone. We didn't see him on Sunday, but what do you think of AB with 17 games with Tom Brady?
I'm just hoping that with the Super Bowl ring that he's wearing on his finger, that somehow he's still able to contain somewhat of that personality of his and just stay on a good track this season. You have 17 weeks. Keep yourself healthy. Don't be going out there and, enjoying Ybor City and all the festivities in Tampa. Just stay in a straight line. We need you for 17 games. And I mean, I picked either Mike Evans or Antonio Brown to hit 1,000 yards first between those two players. So I have high expectations for AB.
Which one do you say hits it first?
I would say Mike Evans or AB. I can't choose.
Yes.
If I had to choose, I would say Mike Evans, but
Right.
those two players.
True.
Yeah, I mean, what we saw from Sunday, I mean, Mike looks in the best shape of his life. He looks faster, which is crazy. I mean, he's already had 7 straight 1,000-yard seasons, and going into
Make it 8.
Yeah, going to year 8, he looks like the best receiver he's been. Like, it's just crazy how he continues to get better and better. I mean, we saw the play of the day on Sunday where he goes down the sideline, makes that one-handed catch in stride, and just continues to. I mean, he's just ridiculous. Just the consistent level that he produces. But now Tom having that connection with Antonio Brown. I mean, it seems like whenever Antonio Brown practices, he's getting all the catches. So it's those two dangerous. And, like I always say, and I've been saying it this whole offseason, wide ass open, it's going to be for Antonio Brown. I mean, no one's going to be able to double him, because if you double him, Mike or Chris are going to eat you alive. Yeah. And so, yeah, just a lot of problems for defenses. I know they're not getting a lot of sleep these days, defense coordinators.
Well, that's another guy that you mentioned, Leonard Fournette. Would he come back, like contract stuff? I didn't think Antonio Brown would come back. I thought like this was his little advertisement to the rest of the league. I can stay clean. I can stay out of trouble. Just let me get a contract.
He doesn't want to play with anybody else but Brady. Like him and Brady, they have this buddy.
Yeah.
They're like PB and J, those two. I knew that he was coming back. Now, did the Bucs want to sign him back? That's what I was worried about. I wasn't really worried about Antonio Brown want to kind of dip his toes in the water. I was worried about whether the Bucs, Jason Light, was going to pull the trigger on signing somebody like Antonio Brown. But I mean, I'm never mad when somebody gets the bag. I believe it's only a 1-year deal for 11 million or something like that. Nothing too extreme, with some guaranteed money. So
he's got a chance. I think it's a chance to earn $6 million. But yeah, I mean, I think this is the year where he definitely tries to break the bank, obviously, and cash in. Obviously, I think he's got that potential to get that one more contract, but we'll just have to see how it goes. I think he's in a great situation, obviously, and he knows it. So I think he'll have great opportunities to make a lot of plays, and that's what you're looking for at this point in his career.
Right. Can we shout out Ross Cockrell's sister?
Yeah.
Yeah,
did
absolutely.
an excellent job in the Olympics qualifying. That's pretty amazing. And he fed off that energy and had 3 interceptions during practice yesterday, which is pretty phenomenal. All by Ryan Jensen, just so nobody freaks out. It was Ryan, not Tom. We're okay.
Been there a little too much.
Yeah, Russ Crocker. I mean, he's another guy that we saw yesterday that looked great at safety, and obviously again today, with the 3 interceptions. I mean, he's looking like a natural fit at safety. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if he can play that and also be the 4th corner on our team, and be that depth piece, and you can add a roster spot to another position. So,
absolutely,
yeah.
I mean, being multiple like that. It's not just on the D line. I mean, you can do this anywhere. I mean, Antoine Winfield can be your nickel corner too. So the ability to actually move the guys in and out like that, it's awesome, and it only adds value to Cockrell. Let's talk about another wide receiver. Speaking of contracts, Chris Goblin over here made a diving catch over the middle in the traffic from Brady, and then quickly rolled back onto his feet to get a couple extra yards before he was touched. So, speaking of contracts, Chris Godwin, he's on that franchise tag. He's another guy who's going to be looking for a big contract, considering how little money the Bucs have. So, Chris Godwin, how massive of a season is he going to have, because he's on a contract year?
I think he's definitely going to show out. He was one of my favorite receivers going into last season. I mean, he is spectacular. The way he plays, he's so passionate, and he just loves being a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. And I have a feeling that he's going to show out this season, and he's going to get that long-term contract to stay a Buccaneer. I think him and Mike Evans are always going to be that A, B, like, those slot receivers that are going to make things happen for the Bucs. You saw what I did there?
A, B.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah, I like it. I love Chris, man. He is just he's a stud. So
yeah, and I was
again,
a little worried when I heard that he wasn't at training camp for was it 2 or 3 days in a row that he didn't show up. So I was kind of like, I wonder what's going on with that. But he's been back at practice and looking phenomenal.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's that's the thing. Just hope he can keep his health this year and be out there every week. And I mean, he produces when he's on the field, obviously, and he did that yesterday. He's just so consistent. He always makes those tough catches, and yeah, he's a guy that this offense really needs. I mean, when he's out there, it's a different offense and how they operate. Just the versatility and flexibility that they can provide with him and the tight ends. Obviously, that's another group that looks amazing. Even without OJ and Cam Brate, the tight end group's still making plays after play. So it's just it's hard not to get very excited when you're talking about this offense. But then again, you look at this defense, and the defense is making play after play after play.
Right.
And really, it's a strength of the team that doesn't get talked about enough. And I think the defense is really going to take that step forward. And that's what makes this team so special if they can stay healthy. Very, very dangerous unit overall.
Yeah, that's actually that next couple points are on defense. But
Mark, before we continue, Ruth, how are we doing on time? I didn't know if you were good for the whole hour, or I know you have other shows you got to be on.
Yeah, I want to jump on the sports arena, but they start at 10, but I did want to make a phone call or two before that, but if I can hang for another 10 minutes.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but before we
time on the what is it, the Real Bucs Talk?
Real Bucs Talk, yep.
Real Bucs Talk.
Hey guys, so if you're in the chat or watching somewhere, hit that like button down below. Help support the channel. Share it if you like the content. If you don't like it, just don't think about it.
Share it anyways. Somebody's gonna like it.
Regardless.
Yeah, hit that subscribe button because the season is we're like 45 days away, or I think even less from week 1 of the NFL season, and the content is going to continue to just keep flowing. So make sure you subscribe.
Yes. Yep.
Especially
absolutely.
Like, film breakdowns, you're going to get that here, or RBT, Real Bucs Talk. But yeah, so let's go back into the points here. Outside linebacker Joe Tryon got his hands on the ball to break up a pass as he was on the move and coverage. It seems his coverage skills, which are important for outside linebackers in the Bucs defense, are coming along pretty nicely. So this is something we've actually shown in our film studies of him. He's not just an edge rusher, power guy. He can actually drop back into coverage, and they are saying it. It's something we really do need in this defense. So what do you think about Joe Tryon dropping back into coverage?
I like it. I mean, Bruce Arians talked about him playing 2 different positions on that defensive line. Like, I like it that he's all over the place. I mean, he's got a lot to learn. I mean, it all takes time with snaps, but I love the energy that comes from him and the leadership that he shows. So I'm excited to see what he brings as the rookie for the Bucs next season. I think he's probably going to be the rookie of the year for the Bucs going into next season.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I think, definitely his role, I think he's going to have probably the biggest impact as the rookie for this draft class going into it. And I like how his development is progressing. Obviously, with preseason coming up, I think we're only like 11 days away from the Bucs' first preseason game. So just going into that and him getting a lot of playing time and seeing that progression, it's going to be really nice to see. And from what we saw, with him in coverage and, going out there and, making it look easy. Just his ability to drop back was really nice, and seems like he's in the right spot for the most part. There's a couple of times where, he gets a little too aggressive and tries to jump the wrong gap, but that can be coached up.
I mean, either way, he looks the part. Let's put it that way. When he was walking around there, dude is massive.
Yeah, I've heard he's a big guy.
Yeah,
literally does look like Tarzan. Let's put it that way.
Does he got the hair and everything going on?
Oh yeah.
He stands out in the crowd. Let's put it that way.
Like he almost makes Will Golston look small, but Will Golston is like just a giant. Like he's a giant man, but almost. I mean, he comes close to it.
Here's another thing. this was the first time I think both of us have seen Tom Brady in the flesh, and it was like an awesome experience. I mean, even random fans everywhere just giddy. Like he would
Yeah.
throw a thumbs up, and the whole crowd went crazy. It's
My first time seeing Tom Brady in the flesh was, I believe, 2017 when he traveled to Raymond James Stadium. I don't know if it was 2017 or 2016. One of those 2 years. It was that freakish game that our kicker missed like
Yeah.
4
Oh, yeah.
punts, and it was like
Nick-
9-12, and it was like the
Nick
most
Folk.
disappointing.
Yeah.
It was the most disappointing game ever, but that was my very first time seeing Brady in the flesh. And I was sitting on the 50-yard line in like the second row back because my friend had season tickets. So
It's
it was
awesome.
pretty awesome. Yeah.
hell of a seat. Damn.
Yeah, pretty close.
Well, on that note, let's keep going.
Yeah. But I mean, my second time seeing him was at the Super Bowl. So
Oh, nice.
I was sitting in club level at the Super Bowl, best night of my life. That whole experience was phenomenal. And I walked home afterwards because I live right down the street from Ray J.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. Amazing.
I guess you heard some roars that whole night.
Oh, it was insane. Well, there was enough tequila in my system to put a horse out when I got home. I woke up still in my sneakers. I was still wearing my jeans. I still had my hat on. I was like, well, last night was a good night.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, it was.
Rolled
That's
out of
the
bed, put my work clothes on, walked in, did a show with Martin Gramatica. Like, so how was the Super Bowl? And I'm like, well, what I can remember from it, it was absolutely amazing.
That's great. And,
Yeah. All right, let's keep going. So a couple plays later, cornerback Sean Murphy-Bunting just barely missed a pick. A couple plays later, because of safety, Antoine Winfield Jr. ended up leading up and tipping the ball unknowingly right in front of Murphy-Bunting. So yes, more on defense. Secondary is actually playing crazy. The young guys are starting to become more heady, I guess. I mean, Antoine Winfield, I've been talking him up all offseason. I think he's going to take a massive jump forward. And SMB, I feel like he's like 2-minute warning.
Oh, no, I was just saying peace.
the peace sign for Antoine Winfield. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, 2-minute warning. Is that what this is? Yeah, like
I had to buy the shirt. Shout out to Smack Apparel for making that awesome shirt with Antoine Winfield Jr. going like this to so I bought the shirt. So every time I hear his name, I'm just like, peace out.
I was like, geez, we're getting 2 minutes now. No, but yeah, like I think both of them are going to they're both heady players and should contribute a lot more this season. So 2 points, 2 cents, guys. That's on. I guess the peace sign's going up again.
Hey, I love Antoine Winfield. I mean, he could have made a lot of big hits yesterday in practice, but that's not allowed. But yeah, he's going to be a tremendous player. And then Sean Murphy-Bunting, obviously in the slot, they lined him up. They lined him up outside, and Mark goes to me. He's like, "Oh no, they lined Murphy-Bunting outside against Mike Evans. This is not going to end well." And of course, Mike, makes that great one-handed catch on him. So it just showed. Yeah. And then I think the rest of the practice, he was mainly in the slot the rest of the way. So the coaches saw that. They're like, "Nope." But yeah, I love them both. I think they're going to be tremendous in how they play football aggressive. They're smart, physical, everything you want from, in this defense as far as Todd Bowles likes to run it.
And he's only going into his sophomore season, correct?
Antoine is, Antoine's going into his second year.
Young talent, and I mean, he's exceptional, and he's only going to get better. So glad the Bucs have him on their defense.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And Sean Murphy-Bunting, same thing. They're going into year 3. Carlton Davis going into year 4. So, yeah, a lot of these guys, I think, obviously the sky's the limit. And we're going to talk about, Jamel Dean later in the show. He's getting, he doesn't look like a corner. Like, he's not a corner, but he plays so fast, how he can use his length. So ridiculous what he can provide.
Yeah, I didn't realize how many, like you said, there was like 3 interceptions in today's practice. It's crazy. Like, I'm just reading all these interceptions and tips and hands on a ball. Like, even here, Mike Edwards had another near pickoff, Gabbert, but it was cornerback Antonio Hamilton that ended up doing the same thing Winfield had done earlier and tipped the pass before Edwards could get to it. So, I mean, guys making plays, you want to hear your name called way more than in a good way than in a bad way. So Antonio Hamilton, it's another name not many people are familiar with. So, what do y'all think about Antonio Hamilton?
Well, I think Ruth's got to sign off, but
Go ahead.
yeah. So Ruth, again, just let everyone know how they can get a hold of you. And again, thank you so much for joining us. I know we were kind of all over the place, but it was a
No,
lot of
I
fun.
liked it. I like that kind of
Yeah.
scenario. Just kind of like
Yeah.
just regular conversation. Find
Word.
me on Twitter. I will give you a follow back. Ruth the Truth with a triple H at the end. If you guys have Instagram, I like to do lives on Instagram just to talk about breaking news and things like that. So it's at Sports Truth with Babe Ruth. Yeah, just make sure to follow and hit the subscribe button for Real Bucs Talk because we have a lot of content with Bucs Report coming your way. So thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, Ruth. Much appreciated. And yeah, have a great night.
You too.
So yeah. All right.
That was yeah, that was awesome having her on. She's really cool. Got to hang out with her back when the playoffs were going on for the Lightning. So yeah, she's very insightful, knows her stuff, and yeah, just a great follow. So guys, be sure to check her out.
Check her out. So let's
out her content.
Right. let's go over to our sponsor really quick since this is a good like transition period for us. So y'all have heard it before. Symbol, the stock market for sports. What is this? What is this whole idea? How does it work? Sports betting is fun. Investing in the stock market is great. And Symbol has created a way for you to enjoy both of those at the same time. Only with Symbol, you trade teams like stocks and earn cash when your teams win. So literally, it's as simple as this. 1, 2, 3. Find your favorite team. Get the Buccaneers. They're around $46 right now per share. So they're pricey because they're on top of the mountain right now. What happens? You earn win payouts every time they win a game. So you get 50 cents per share that you have of the Buccaneers. Or if you want to buy low, buy like the Bengals. They're probably a lot lower, probably $15, $13, something like that. And if they start spouting off wins, you get wins. So you get shares like a dividend of a stock. So they have NFL, NBA, MLB, and I believe they just added college football. So that's another crazy, awesome thing you can get into. And you trade teams like stocks, buy low, sell high, sell overrated teams to the market and find hidden gems. Pretty cool idea, cool concept. Trade 24/7, 365 a year. And if you want to learn more, click that play button down below. It's just Symbol, the app. Check it out. And if you want to, hit the link down below. Support the channel. You get something, we get something. We all have kumbaya. But let's continue talking some Bucs football.
We're all winners,
right? That's how winning's done, right?
Yeah, that's what winning is.
But let's continue talking here some Buccaneer football, and actually, let's like you mentioned, let's go into BA and the defense. What did he think of Joe Tryon, stuff like that? So actually, let me bring this up so we all can get into this. I just got it to work now, guys. So enjoy the show. Oh, never mind. But yeah, so Joe Tryon, we were mentioning earlier, I'll fix that.
It's okay.
Joe Tryon, he's doing good on the edge. He actually did well against Wirf. Someone mentioned that earlier in the chat. But the thing is, his run fits. Don't just play like with your ears pinned behind you. You have to work in a system. Last year, it was the linebackers dropping back into coverage. Now you just got to make sure you're working 11 as one, something we always talk about. But plus, touch on that as I fix this problem.
Yeah, I mean, when we're at practice yesterday, Joe, obviously he was showing some flashes. We saw some good things. Obviously, working as a pass rusher, I think he's got a lot of that stuff down right now. Obviously, BA praising him and the ability to, make the plays against top tackles. So let's hear from BA though. He's going to go into the details of Joe Tryon.
Yeah, he's got to learn to stay in his gap on defense. He can't freelance. He gave up a couple really big runs, jumping around blocks and trying to make plays instead of just doing your job. One thing, he's got such great talent, and he's obviously a hell of a pass rusher. But there's more to the game than just that, and just do your job and do it really well.
And we'll get on old Jamel Dean soon, but yeah, just guys, he's a rookie. He's still got to learn. He's going to have to learn behind two of the best to do it right now. That they're still near the highest of their points right now. So I think he just needs to learn. Sit back, learn. I still think he's going to get probably around 5 or 6 sacks just based off of ability alone. So I guess everyone wanted a recap of Joe Tryon in practice. The hocus pocus. Let's keep going on. So now Jamel Dean, this was a funny interview they had with him because he's all about the PBUs, but now he's wanting to get some interceptions because he's seeing that doesn't get much respect these days. So let's jump into Jamel Dean.
Most definitely. And then another thing I'm working on is like growing my IQ for the game, building on my knowledge from basically the past 2 years, just building my knowledge of the game. Because I feel like the more I know, the more I'll be able to put myself in better situation to make plays. Really, interceptions. Yeah, I can't go for PBUs because apparently PBUs don't get you all pro.
Hey, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, yeah, you gotta make the interceptions, but pass breakups are still important. But obviously, yeah, I mean, he's kind of right. They're not going to lead to all pro selections. But just do your job. I think Jamel, you'll be fine.
Yeah, but touching on that, we didn't see much of him at practice. Yeah, he was there. I guess it's a good thing. He didn't get targeted much. He didn't get thrown on. Yeah, like you touched on me mentioning SMB was outside. I'm like, uh-oh. And Tom saw the same thing, threw it over the top. So I think Dean, if he can improve even more, because he said he's working on his IQ, wondering what the offense is doing. I mean, these guys are still so young. I mean, Carlton Davis is only his 4th year, right? And he's still fairly young. So all these secondary players they're still wet behind the ear almost. So it's crazy. If they can only get better with what's in front of them. Yeah, BA was mentioning how they were sitting on plays in practice. Why? Because they can. Their front seven's that damn good. And we've mentioned this over the offseason. So I can't wait to see them kind of benefit from how good that front seven is.
Yeah, for sure. And, obviously, Vita Vea, hopefully he can stay healthy throughout the year. That makes a huge difference. So, yeah, that's a good one, Bucs time. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, he's going to help Dean out. But, yeah, I mean, the front seven obviously is going to make the back unit much better and be allowed to, play aggressive and play the way they want to. So all these guys, a lot of them are going into year 3, some year 2, but a lot of year 3, year 4 players. And I think that's going to be a huge benefit.
Yeah. I mean, the secondary, I can't wait for them to show out. Cause I mean, last year they got talked bad left and right prior to the season. This year, they're probably still not getting the recognition they want. So let's see. I mean, David and White kind of balled out last season, proving how good they are. And now even like in ratings and Madden and all these other places, David's like one of the top linebackers. Before that, you never heard of his name. So it is funny to see that. Let's see if Carlton Davis can get his name up there and one of the top corners in the league. If SMB can be some type of playmaker, some people actually know his name because even Buck fans kind of talk down about him. But this is the biggest one. Speaking of Devin White, I wanted to touch on this. This was from I believe Friday or Saturday. I couldn't believe he kind of touched on this, and I'll elaborate after he goes on this little tangent because this is awesome. Like him noticing what he needs to fix and actually applying it. So let's jump into that.
Thanks, Jamel.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a collective effort of all those things that you just named. Growing up, when it was time to play pass coverage, it was always, chasing the running back around. Well, now you got to be even more versatile, playing a little zone, where you playing quarters, you playing cover 3, whatever you playing cover 2. You got to know how to spot drop. You got to know that you got to get there fast so you can set up and read the quarterback. You got to be able to be under control with your body. It's a lot of things that goes into playing defenses like that. And that was something that I wasn't as comfortable with, but I have got tremendously better. And that was something going into the end stretch of the season that I really prided myself with. I stayed after practice and got extra drops and looked at film and old film on players who did do those things well. And just took advantage of it, because at the end of the day, I mean, Rome wasn't built overnight, and Devin White ain't going to become the best player overnight. So I took the time to put in the work and get it done.
Devin White, you a bad man. Rome wasn't built in a night. Neither was Devin White. I mean, this guy's going for best defensive player in the league. I mean, this isn't just best linebacker. And I mean, I'll admit it. We're worried about his pass coverage. We were kind of downing him all last year about it too. And it literally seemed like the bye week, he looked up everything, literally just dropping back a little bit more because everything I do in front of me, lights out at. It just proves like he did his homework and he's better at it. Let's see if that carries over to this season. But from what it sounds like, this dude's going to be a bad man.
Yeah, definitely. And he's already making great coverage plays in practice now. So I mean, he's already got a couple interceptions. He's fooling Tom Brady, just hovering there in the middle. So yeah, sky's the limit for Devin. Obviously, him wanting, to have a great season and Shaq Barrett wanting to do what he wants to do. That should be an interesting battle if, those guys can put themselves in defensive player of the year consideration. But yeah, Devin definitely, the plays that he's able to make sideline to sideline with his run defense. And then if the coverage is what it needs to be, it just adds a lot of flexibility with Levante David, who can do more things and, go into pass rush and do all those type of things.
Just Devin White, I hope nothing but the best for this dude. Like, I hope he really does get his name like in that MVP race or just best defensive player. He just gets better every damn year. It's crazy. But let's go talk more about the team itself and as a whole. Also, I want to kind of mention this, the funny trick play that we saw where Tom Brady and Ryan Griffin are on the field at the same time. They play action, actually threw the ball to Ryan Griffin. Did it twice. And it was just funny to kind of see. I can only imagine if they run that during the season. And then also the end around to Mike Evans. I thought that was kind of crazy to see.
Yeah, I don't see the quarterback thing happening. I think they were just using the quarterbacks as running backs because the running backs were off doing a separate drill. So I don't see that happening. It would be funny, sure. I mean, if they could make it into a double pass scenario, sure. But Mike Evans doing an end around again, they're just having fun. I don't see that being a possibility either. Because he was the last guy to do it, so he's probably not the first option.
Hey, but you never know. I mean, that's Mike Evans. His game's just expanded over time. I mean, he used to only be an outside receiver. Now he's playing literally almost all the time in the slot. They just move him around for, wherever you find the best mismatch. So you never know. Ryan Griffin playing running back, that ain't gonna happen. That was funny to see.
Yeah, and Kyle Trask, same thing. That was
Like Trask, he did have a couple. He did a couple good comebacks, but you can see he's thinking too much right now. But yeah, he doesn't have any chance of starting anytime soon, so don't worry about that. And it blew my mind how so many people had no clue who our backup quarterback was.
That's true. Yeah, a lot of them didn't know who the right numbers were. And there was fans that were talking about Justin Watson playing an NFC Championship game that never took place. Yeah. I mean, Justin Watson never got in the game. Like, that was Tyler Johnson who got the penalty in the fourth quarter for, the Green Bay game. So, and then, they couldn't figure out which one was Gabbard or which one was Trask. So that was it was interesting. But hey, casual Bucs fans, it's all good. Support the team.
Yeah. But more on Darden. From what I saw, yes, quick, shifty, all that's there. A lot of people were mentioning the drops. I don't think I saw any drops from him when we were there.
Yeah, he was good. He was consistent.
Yeah. The only thing I saw where he didn't catch it was because he would have gotten lit up by Cockrell coming across from the middle. I mean, he just let it go because either way, if he went into that, he would have gotten leveled. And this was not a tackling session either.
Yeah, and there was one other one where he just stopped running. I think he didn't think the ball was going his way and kind of just gave up on the play. So that's something where he just got to get better at consistently, like run your route all the way through every play. Again, he could have been tired at that time. So yeah, it's just something he's got to fight through. But overall, again, the team I think is on the right track. They got a lot of things to work on still, as case every team, but should be interesting in the next couple of weeks. You got actual games that we're going to be able to look at and really dissect who's going to make this team and how the roster is going to be shaped up.
Yeah. But guys, we're going to call it here. Thank you for being part of the show. You guys are always bringing the questions, bringing the passion. Bucs football is right here. I mean, we're 6 weeks away, I believe. So
Mhm.
we're going to be here every Monday, bringing you all the information we can find, stuff like this, live, not live, but video stuff like this. We're going to try and get tape of the Titans game practices. It's going to be a fun, wild ride, and stick with us. If you haven't liked it yet, hit the like button down below. Subscribe to our YouTube. That's where you're going to see all of our film breakdowns. And with that, I'm going to leave it off to Mike to send us out.
Yeah, again, just echoing what Mark said. Again, thank you all for the support. Thanks for joining us. Thank you to Bucs Report for having us. And yeah, it's a lot of stuff going down the next couple of weeks. MD Peel, thank you so much. Appreciate that. So yeah, just much support, and everyone have a great week. And as always, go Bucs.